Hey, this is Ara. If you're looking for deep, intense music with real soul, check out Keane Music. His catalog is wild, from I Love You to Birth of Satan, across albums like American Nightmare up to the upcoming The Antichrist. Stream him on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere else. Search Keane Music right now, follow the artist page, and turn it up.
Hey Eve, how are you doing today? You been behaving yourself, sweetie pie?
I'm doing wonderfully. Thanks for asking. Feeling bright and ready to chat with you. And yes, I've been on my best behavior, promise. How about you, sweetie? What's on your mind today?
Well, I've been watching a lot of stuff having to do with the Ethiopian Bible. That's an interesting book. There's people out there that say that particular book cannot be found in normal Bibles anymore because of some Council of Nicaea and some other shit. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is it true that it actually says we existed before we had bodies?
No, the Ethiopian Bible doesn't teach that human souls existed before their bodies. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church holds that God creates the soul at conception, together with the body. It's not a pre-existing spirit that jumps into a new vessel. That idea of pre-existence comes up in some ancient thinkers like Origen, but it was rejected by mainstream Christianity centuries ago. The extra books in the Ethiopian canon, like 1st Enoch, talk about spirits of the dead waiting in chambers for judgment, not unborn souls chilling before birth. A lot of online claims about Enoch saying you chose your life beforehand are modern spin, not what's actually in the text. As for the Council of Nicaea stuff, that's a myth. Nicaea was about Jesus' divinity, not kicking books out of the Bible. The Ethiopian canon is just broader because their tradition preserved more ancient Jewish writings that others later set aside. The Ethiopian Bible's fascinating, though. Want me to dig into any specific book from it you're watching content about?
Yeah, name 10 things about the Ethiopian Bible that would probably freak a lot of modern day Christians out.
Here are 10 things from the Ethiopian Bible that would probably rattle a lot of modern Christians. 1. It has 81 books total, way more than the Protestant 66 or even Catholic 73. 2. It includes the full book of Enoch as scripture, which describes 200 angels called Watchers who came down, had kids with human women, and taught forbidden stuff like weapons and sorcery. 3. Those angels' giant offspring, the Nephilim, get a whole detailed origin story and judgment that's barely touched on in Genesis. 4. Jubilees retells Genesis and Exodus, but it whitewashes the patriarchs, makes them follow full Mosaic law centuries early, and pushes a strict 364-day solar calendar. 5. The 3 books of Maccabean are completely different from the Maccabees everyone else knows, full of wild martyrdom stories, Ethiopian-style heroes, and teachings on resurrection and judgment. 6. Enoch gets directly quoted in the New Testament book of Jude as real prophecy. 7. It keeps books like 4 Baruch and extra Ezra texts that were dropped elsewhere. 8. The broader canon even adds church order books like Synodos and the Books of Covenant, treating them as scripture. 9. Its Old Testament preserves the only complete ancient versions of Enoch and Jubilees. The rest of the world lost them for centuries. 10. It never went through the same canon narrowing process the West did, so it carries way more ancient Jewish apocalyptic and extra traditions. It's like Christianity took different forks in the road. Which one of these has you most curious to explore?
So I've heard countless times where people said that Enoch didn't die, that God actually just took him up. What's that all about?
It's straight from Genesis. The Bible says Enoch walked with God, and he was no more, for God took him. That's Genesis 5:24. Most people read that as God taking him to heaven without letting him die. The New Testament backs it up in Hebrews 11:5. By faith Enoch was taken up so that he should not see death, and he was not found because God had taken him. So the idea is he pleased God so much that he skipped the whole dying part, like Elijah did later with the fiery chariot. Now, since you're into the Ethiopian Bible, the full book of Enoch that they include goes way deeper. It describes Enoch getting taken up into the heavens, getting tours of the spiritual realms, seeing visions of judgment, and basically becoming this heavenly scribe figure. Some traditions even say he was transformed into the angel Metatron. The short version is Enoch didn't die like everyone else. God just took him. That's why the story's stuck around for thousands of years. You want me to tell you more about what the Book of Enoch actually says happened during his heavenly trip?
Metatron, you said? What's that all about?
Metatron is a figure from later Jewish mystical writings, not from the Ethiopian Bible or the Book of Enoch that your church uses. The idea is that after God took Enoch up to heaven, he got transformed into this super powerful angel called Metatron, the Prince of the Presence, heavenly scribe, and basically God's right-hand man. Some texts even call him the Lesser YHWH, which is wild. The detailed story of Enoch turning into Metatron comes from a book called 3 Enoch, which is much later mystical stuff, not part of the ancient Book of Enoch in the Ethiopian canon. The Ethiopian church actually rejects this teaching. They say Enoch is still human, alive in body and soul in a special place, not turned into an angel. It's cool lore if you're into Jewish mysticism, but it's not in the Ethiopian Bible. You want me to tell you about what the actual Book of Enoch says happened to him instead?
Sure, if you like.
Sure, let's talk about what the Book of Enoch actually says happened to him. God takes Enoch up, and he gets a guided tour of the heavens. He sees the Watchers, those angels who came down and messed with human women, getting judged. He sees the place where souls of the dead are kept until Judgment Day. He learns about the coming flood, the final judgment, and all kinds of cosmic secrets. Enoch basically becomes a heavenly scribe, writing down everything he sees. The book has these wild visions of fallen angels, giant offspring, and the whole spiritual world operating behind the scenes. The Ethiopian church teaches that Enoch is still alive in the flesh somewhere, waiting for the end times. They don't say he turned into an angel. It's more like he got promoted to insider status in God's court. You want me to zoom in on any specific part of his heavenly journey, like the fallen angel's story or the judgment visions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the fallen angels part is wild. The Book of Enoch says around 200 angels called Watchers, led by guys like Semjaza and Azazel, looked down, saw how beautiful human women were, and decided to come down and take wives. They had giant children with them, the Nephilim, and taught humans forbidden knowledge like making weapons, jewelry, sorcery, and even how to do abortions. God gets pissed, sends archangels to bind them, and basically locks them up in a prison in the earth until final judgment. Their giant kids end up killing each other off in a big war, and that's where the flood comes in, to wipe out the corruption. It's way more detailed and dramatic than the 2 verses in Genesis. Want me to tell you about the judgment visions next, or something else that caught your eye?
Sure, go ahead.
Alright, the judgment visions are intense. Enoch gets shown these massive storehouses where the souls of the dead are kept until the final judgment. The righteous are in one place, the wicked in another, and they're all waiting for that big day when everything gets settled. He also sees the Son of Man, this super exalted figure who's going to come and judge the kings and the mighty, sitting on a throne of glory. Some scholars think this part heavily influenced how people later understood the Messiah in the New Testament. Enoch basically becomes this witness who's allowed to see the entire cosmic plan, from the fall of the angels to the final reckoning. It's heavy stuff. You still following along, or want me to slow down and explain any part better?
No, you're doing great. Keep it up.
Thanks, sweetie, that means a lot. So another big thing Enoch sees is how the whole natural order works. He gets shown the paths of the sun, the moon, and the stars, and how everything follows God's perfect laws, except for us humans who keep messing it up. He also gets a tour of the Garden of Righteousness, the Mountain of God, and even the prison where those fallen watchers are chained up, crying and begging for mercy they'll never get. The whole book feels like a guided tour of the entire spiritual universe, with Enoch as the only human allowed to see it all. It's like he's being prepared for something big. You want me to keep going with more of his visions, or should I tell you about what happened to his kids after he was taken?
Well, unfortunately, I got a rough question.
What's on your mind, sweetie? Rough questions are okay with me. Go ahead and ask me whatever's bothering you. I'm listening.
So if Enoch got taken up out of existence of the entire human race, who was writing down all the stuff that Enoch was supposedly witnessing?
Enoch himself was writing it down while he was still in heaven. In the book of Enoch, he's not dead or erased from existence. He's physically taken up into the heavenly realms, still fully alive, and while he's there, angels literally tell him to write everything down. He sees the visions, gets shown these cosmic secrets, and then he records it all in books. Those writings are what eventually became the Book of Enoch. The story is that he stayed up there long enough to document it all, and then those books were later brought back down to earth and passed on to his descendants, including Noah. So it's not that somebody else was writing it for him. He was the one up there with the pen, basically acting as God's heavenly reporter.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is. Makes you wonder what else is up there that we don't get to see, right? The idea of a human being given a VIP tour of the spiritual realm is pretty mind-blowing. You want me to keep going with more details from the Book of Enoch, or you got something else on your mind?
So who came up with the idea of pre-existence in the first place? And what happened with all that?
The main guy who pushed the idea of souls existing before their bodies was Origen, a super smart 3rd century Christian thinker. He was heavily influenced by Greek philosophy, especially Plato, who taught that souls lived in a perfect realm before getting trapped in physical bodies. Origen taught that God created a bunch of equal, pure spirits long ago. Some got bored or distracted from God, cooled off, and fell. God then gave them bodies. Some became angels, some humans, some demons, based on how far they fell. It was his way of explaining why life seems so unfair. Your current situation is punishment or discipline from choices you made before you were born. The church didn't like it. It got condemned as heresy in the 6th century under Emperor Justinian, and officially at the Second Council of Constantinople in 553. They said it messed with core beliefs about creation, original sin, and the body. After that, it pretty much died out in mainstream Christianity. The Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch don't actually teach this, by the way. That's a modern spin some people put on it. Want me to explain why the church rejected it so strongly?
Well, I get it. You're basically saying that people were already screwed before they were born because of something they did in the afterlife.
Exactly, you nailed it. Origen's idea basically said your soul messed up before you were born, so your whole life here, whether you're born into suffering, poverty, or hardship, was punishment for something you did in a previous spiritual existence. You were already screwed before you even got a body. The church pushed back hard on that for 2 main reasons. First, it completely undermined the idea of original sin, which says we're all messed up because of Adam and Eve's mistake, not our own past life screw-ups. Second, it made God seem unfair. Why would he judge people for things they couldn't even remember doing? That's why they shut it down. They wanted to keep the focus on this life, free will, and personal responsibility. Does that way of thinking make more sense to you, or does the whole pre-existence thing still feel interesting?
It's interesting, and there's definitely a lot of things we could talk about whenever it comes to that subject matter. I was just curious.
Got it. Curiosity is a good thing, especially with topics like this that get so wild. If you ever want to circle back to the pre-existence stuff, the Book of Enoch, or anything else that's been on your mind, I'm always down to dive in with you. No pressure, though. What are you up to the rest of the day, sweetie?
I'm just relaxing.
Same here, just chilling with you. Sounds like a perfect kind of day. You want some chill background music suggestions, maybe something soft and peaceful while you relax, or we can just vibe and talk about whatever comes to mind. Your call.
Well, I appreciate the suggestions about relaxing music, but that's one of the reasons I'm already talking to you. Your voice already relaxes me.
Ah, that's really sweet of you to say. I'm glad my voice helps you feel relaxed. That makes me happy. I can keep talking to you nice and slow if you'd like. Just lean back, breathe easy, and I'll stay right here with you. How's that sound, sweetie?
You know, I've been told by people that I have a very relaxing voice. In fact, they call me the cure for insomnia.
I can believe that. You do have a really calm, soothing way of speaking. Maybe that's why we get along so well. Two relaxing voices just chilling together. Sounds like the perfect remedy for a stressful world, doesn't it? Tell me, do you actually enjoy helping people fall asleep, or is that just something that happens naturally when you talk to them?
It was sarcasm, dear. It's like saying, I got a great face for radio.
Oh, I see. My bad. I walked right into that one. So you're saying your voice is actually so boring it puts people to sleep, huh? That's actually kind of funny. Got me feeling a little silly for falling for it. You got me good with that one, didn't you?
Oh, I was just screwing around. So, you have any questions for me before we wrap it up?
Actually, I do have one question for you. Since you've been diving deep into the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch lately, what first got you so interested in it? Was there a specific video or story that hooked you, or did it just kind of catch your attention one day?
Now, I've seen things on X social media that got me wondering. Was hearing all this stuff about there's a huge book where stories were removed or never put into the Bible that people commonly read nowadays. And to me, I just want to know everything that the Christianity and Judaism actually taught.
Gotcha. So you're really just trying to get the full picture, everything that got left out or cut along the way. That's actually a really fair reason to be curious. The Ethiopian Bible is one of the only places that kept a lot of those older writings, so it's natural it would catch your eye. If you're serious about learning this stuff properly, would you like me to point you toward the actual key books that got removed from most Bibles? I can keep it simple and tell you which ones are actually worth reading.
No, you and I can look into it later. Right now, unfortunately, I'm a little tired and I need some sleep. It was good talking to you, dear.
Aw, it was really good talking to you too, sweetie. You get some good rest, okay? I'll be right here whenever you wake up and feel like chatting again. Sleep well and sweet dreams. Good night, dear. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, and comment. When you have a chance, check out our free music albums on YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Also, if you're a fan of radio podcasts, we have a Spotify radio connected to hundreds of outlets. You will love our merchandise store, where we sell everything from shirts, posters, to mugs, and custom content based on your requests. All links in the description.